Welcome to the Field of 68 After Dark's YouTube channel. We are going to be live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube and on Stadium for the entirety of the spring. Biggest losers in this year's portal season in the Big East.
I mean, Villanova. Villanova clearly is the biggest loser to me. It's not even close. I know they brought back Eric Dixon here, but you look at their roster, it's just so underwhelming at the end of the day, especially compared to what they did last year in the portal, right? I mean, they had 3 million plus. They went out and just boom, boom, boom. They got a bunch of dudes, and we were like, man, Villanova. I remember talking to Kyle Neptune at Big East Media Day and being like, listen, my hot take is Villanova going to the Final Four. And, nobody really laughed that hard at that point. You didn't. Kyle didn't. And they didn't make the tournament last year. They were downright disappointing. And you look at the roster now, and it's like Tyler Perkins from Penn and Brickus from LaSalle. They got Longino back. And it's very, very underwhelming. And I think a big part of it is, again, when you don't deliver in your first 2 years as head coach, I just think the money's not going to be there. The boosters are not going to dig into their pockets anymore and say, hey, we're supporting Kyle Neptune and what he's doing. I think it's kind of the other way right now. They're saying like, no, we're not supporting because we want to change. We want Jay right back, which again isn't going to happen. But we want to change. Yeah. So I just think Villanova's one. I think Seton Hall, and I just feel bad for Seton. I feel bad because he just doesn't have the money. They just don't have it. I mean, it's part of the reason Kevin Willard was so quick to leave Seton Hall for Maryland, right? Maryland's got the infrastructure, they got the resources. Seton Hall is a very, very difficult job for people that don't understand that. And what Shaheen even did last year with their huge wins was really incredible. I just don't know if he's going to be able to even sustain that. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him.
Yeah, it was really impressive what he was able to do with the pieces that he had on that roster last year after what they lost the year before. Look, losing Kadari Richmond, Alamir Dawes, and Dre Davis is going to be very, very difficult for anybody, let alone a program that did not necessarily have the budget to go out and get some of those, replace some of those pieces in the portal. I want to throw one more in there. I want to throw Georgetown in there. Just, we heard all about how much they had in NIL. We heard about how much they were going to be able to kind of put this together. And they got Malik Mack, they got Micah Peavy, but those are not necessarily the program changing names that I think some people were expecting them to bring in. Now, the one thing that I will give Ed a little bit of credit for is that I think it's clear he's starting to build this thing for the long term. Jaden Epps still has, I believe, 2 years of eligibility. Malik Mack has, I believe, 3 years of eligibility. He's bringing in some good freshmen that are going to have a chance to be pretty good. Drew Fielder's got a guy that can develop. Jordan Burks is a player that showed some real flashes last season at Kentucky. So I can see the vision for the future. But coming off of a year where the only team that you beat in the Big East was the team that went 0 for 20, you got to be able to, if you're building for the long term, with the amount of buzz you had coming in and the price tag that you're paying, they're going to need some more instant results than necessarily something with a long-term vision that'll take 4 or 5 years to get to.
You got to finish ahead of the Butlers, the Villanovas this year, maybe Marquette. You're not finishing ahead of the ones we talked about, right? The UConns, Creighton, some of these top tier teams, but you don't have to. Just make a step into mediocrity, into the middle of the Big East if you can, if you're Ed Cooley. I don't know if they've got enough to be able to do that. I think they'll move up maybe a couple spots, but I don't think they're going to be an NCAA tournament team this year with that roster.
Thanks for watching the Field of 68 After Dark. Make sure to hit that like button.